Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of this week's Dumbass of the Month, or this month's Dumbass of the Year, or this year's...
Dumbass of the Week?
If you got a suggestion on what we should name this, I think we're going to take it down to those two names. Mm-hmm. It's either going to be this week's Dumbass of the Month or this month's Dumbass of the Year. Mm-hmm. If you have a preference, send me an email, jason@wedon'thavecookies. Let me know. That will be the name of the show from now on. If this is your first time listening to any episode of the podcast, I would highly suggest that you listen to a different episode. Come back to this one later. It's going to be a great episode, but you're going to be kind of lost on the whole concept.
Yeah.
But for regular listeners, what we're going to do is we're going to take this week's Dumbass of the Year in the previous month. We're going to put them all together. We're going to figure out who the biggest dumbass is. They're going to be the Dumbass of the Month. And then we're going to have a contest at the end of the year, if you want to call it that.
Contest.
We're going to take all this week's Dumbasses of the Year, and we're going to name a conclusive Dumbass of the Year. Fingers crossed. We'll bring them on the show. Mm-hmm. Don't plan on that happening, guys. So this month, we have 3 entries because that's all the shows I did. It's going to be a little quicker than it might be some other times. The first Dumbass of the Year was a teenage girl who broke into an abandoned prison with her friend and locked herself in a cell in Illinois and had to call the fire department to come get her out, and presumably called the fire department at the non-emergency number because she thought that they wouldn't let the police know. And ended up getting arrested for trespassing and put in an actual cell.
Oh, so she thought maybe like the non-emergency number was like just somebody's grandma, like, hey, could you just let somebody know? Like, this certainly doesn't go to the police.
Why would they call the police?
Yeah. You'd
Just
have to call the police.
Committed a crime?
Yeah. Well, you'd have to call the police. I mean, who the hell else has the keys? You know? I mean,
She's really lucky that her friend didn't lock herself in with her. They'd probably be pretty fucked because her friend had to leave the building to go outside to call. Yeah. And if they would have both been in there, they couldn't have got reception, and they would have presumably starved to death before anybody would have realized they were there.
Yeah, that would have been horrible.
Yeah. The second Dumbass of the Year is a man police are looking for who stole 2 pizzas while dressed as a beer bottle.
Wait.
That happened in London.
Stole pizzas?
Yeah, dressed as a beer bottle, walked into a pizza place, went into the employee area, and just took 2 pizzas off the rack and took off.
It's all the employees were like, hey, somebody brought in a beer bottle as a promotion. What?
We were debating if he was the dumbass or if it was the police who couldn't catch the guy dressed as a beer bottle.
Well, really, it's kind of a brilliant plan because you take off your costume and nobody knows who the hell you are except you're carrying 2 pizzas.
They have no body type. They have no hair color. They have nothing to go off of. They don't know if you have tattoos unless you have a teardrop by your eye. You're good to go. The third person was a man who biked 300 miles in the wrong direction on his way home.
Yes.
I kind of feel bad for that guy once I realized that he's probably illiterate.
Well,
that sort of took a little bit of the edge off for me. But still.
First, I don't understand what he was doing biking 1,000 miles from home. So he's 1,000 miles from home, and he's like, I'm going to ride my bike home, and then proceeds to go the wrong way. Okay, first, why are you riding your bike 1,000 miles home? And you can't read road signs? I mean, does China have very complicated road signs? Because, I mean, here in America, they keep them pretty basic. You know, it's mostly just pictures. And even if you couldn't read, I mean, I assume that you know the word stop.
Right.
You know.
I forgot to mention this on the last episode where this guy was nominated for Dumbass of the Year, but there was a happy ending to that when the police realized that he was so far away and that he couldn't read the signs. Mm-hmm. He didn't have money to buy a ticket on the bus home.
Yeah.
they all pitched in money and bought him a ticket to get him home. So that was nice.
Well, my God, I hope it's not like the Greyhound around here where, you go to Dayton and Columbus via, 10 stops. And you still got to be able to read signs and know what the hell bus you got to get on. I doubt it's a straight shot 1,000 miles, 1,300 miles at this point because he went 300 miles in the wrong direction. I doubt it's a straight shot home. They're like, don't let this guy get off the bus. Just drop him off at his house.
So which one do you think we should eliminate out of these three off the top?
Okay, the beer bottle one stealing pizzas, that's just clever. If anybody's the dumbass, it's the employees who would just let a beer bottle walk back into their restaurant. Like, hey, what's up, dude? So
that's a good point. Yeah.
I can't remember what the first one was.
It was the teenage girl who broke into an abandoned prison.
That's just fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
I assume they were like ghost hunting or something, but even all the ghost shows are like, don't trespass, it's illegal.
Yeah. I think I'd have to give it up to the girl who locked herself into the cell.
Yeah.
Because the other guy, it's more a problem. I don't know. I was going to say it's more a problem of him being illiterate, but
yeah.
I think it's also you don't have much of a sense of direction. So there's more going on than you not.
Yeah, I gotta assume it's more than just being illiterate. There's some other issues going on with that guy.
And part of that story was that he was depending on other people giving him directions home.
Yeah.
So there had to be something shitty about this man for people to constantly point him in the wrong direction.
Yeah, really. He
had to be kind of an asshole or a weirdo or something.
Yeah.
But does that mean he's a dumbass? Is he a bigger dumbass than the girl who could have died?
Yeah. If you go to an abandoned prison and the door's open, if you close it, it just automatically locks? Like, isn't there some kind of locking mechanism that has to be turned? Or
they ended up having to bust the wall out to get her out. Nobody had a key.
Well, yeah.
That's the other. They might have been better off instead of calling the front desk of a fire department. Maybe call a locksmith and tell them to keep their mouth shut.
Or doesn't anybody have a saw? Do you take off the bars, or will they bring in a wrecking ball?
Ask her mom
demolish the wall.
Ask her mom to bake a cake with a file in it.
I mean, really, she's lucky she had a friend with her. I guess
yeah,
that's really the thing. Don't go trespassing without a friend, and don't lock yourself in the same place.
Yeah. It's kind of a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm going to declare it the girl who locked herself in the cell.
Yeah.
That's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
How do you think you're getting out? I mean, unless you're walking around with this janitor size thing of keys, then you kind of take your chances. It might be best to shut the cell and then open it up.
Especially when you're in an unknown place. You don't know if these doors are going to lock, so maybe you should, make sure first before you get in the cell.
Like I said at the beginning of the show, this is going to be more of an abbreviated version of this show. Mm-hmm. I want to announce that my friend from New Zealand, Benny Mack, will be the guest for these episodes from now on. And here's a clip from Benny.
Each week, I'm going to be helping Jason Marshall count down the dumbasses of the year. That's right, there are some absolute dumbasses out there. I can spot them a mile off. I'm Benny Mac. I'm going to be joining Jason Marshall on his podcast, WeDon'tHaveCookies.com. Check us out. We're going to be counting it down. There are some fucking idiots out there. Dumbasses.
That's it for us, guys. Thanks for checking out the show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please tell your friends, spread the word, and I'll talk to you Monday.